My name is Kathy Sorrow, and I will be guiding you in a vinyasa class, probably an intermediate level, with added strength, lots of core, lots of shoulder strength added. Come to sit on your knees. Maybe the tops of your feet are pressed down into the mat. Maybe you feel more comfortable with your toes tucked. Either way, come into a comfortable kneeling seat. Your sit bones are right on top of your heels, palms down on your thighs. And go ahead and close down your eyes. Start to focus on your breath. Maybe even placing your hand on your belly, filling your lower belly with air. Feeling it fill and rise to underneath your rib cage. And then finally into your chest. Hold that breath at the top for just a second. And exhale, release. Feel your belly draw in. Keep up this breath. Inhale, fill your lower belly. Underneath your rib cage. And into your chest. Hold at the top. And exhale fully and completely. Maybe even exhale just a little more than you think you can. Keep up this breath, this slow inhalation, holding at the top, and exhalation, trying to make both directions even. And as you breathe in, think about breathing in all that new energy that's going to carry you through your practice. And exhaling anything that does not serve you. Maybe negative thoughts, maybe judgment. Keep up this breath. And in many traditions, there's the idea of the afterlife and some sort of heaven or bliss in the afterlife. But many traditions also believe that you can bring that heaven, that bliss here on earth through love, compassion, and gratitude. So as you move through your practice, maybe try and think about this class as a moving meditation where you're really trying to draw in, letting go of any negative thoughts, any judgment, and drawing in only love, compassion, and gratitude to bring that heaven or bliss here on earth. Bring your own heaven. Bring your own bliss. Taking a few more rounds of breath, drawing in that love, that compassion, that gratitude. And breathing out anything that does not support that idea or that intention. And go ahead and open your eyes. Walk your hands forward, and if the tops of your feet are touching the mat, tuck onto your toes, sit back onto your heels. If you were sitting with your toes tucked, place the tops of your feet on the mat. We'll be here for a few minutes. So inhale, arms rise, palms touch at the top. Exhale, right fingertips find the floor, left arm reaches up and over, finding that first side bend, opening up that left shoulder. Maybe your gaze is underneath that left elbow. Inhale, arms rise, palms touch. Exhale, side bend to the opposite direction. Left fingertips find the floor, right arm reaches up and over. One more time on each side. Inhale, reach. And exhale, side bend. Anytime your feet become uncomfortable, feel free to switch direction, how your feet are sitting on the mat. Inhale, reach. And exhale, side bend. Inhale, come back to center. Come up to stand on your knees. Lower belly is hugging in and up. Tailbone is reaching for the floor. Inhale, right arm sweeps forward. And taking a big arm circle back. And sit down. Inhale, come up onto your knees. Left arm takes that big, strong arm circle back. Make it as big as you can. Exhale, sit down on your heels. Inhale, right arm sweeps back. Rainbow that right arm, really reach toward the back of the room. Exhale, come down. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and back. One more time on each side. Come to sit. Inhale, right arm. And exhale, come down. Inhale, left arm. Come back to sit down. Inhale, come to stand on your knees. Tuck onto your toes. Tailbone lengthening toward the floor, feeling lots of length in the front hip flexors. On your next inhale, lift your chest as if it was attached to a string, drawing toward the ceiling as your tailbone lengthens. Inhale that right arm up and back, and see if you can reach your right fingertips to your right heel. If not, that's okay. Keep that chest lifted. Keep that belly engaged, sending your hips forward. And breathe. On your next inhale, reach that right arm forward and sit down. Catch your breath. Inhale, come up onto those knees. Left arm sweeps up and back. Maybe your gaze follows that left hand. Left fingertips find the left heel. Keep that chest lifted. Maybe your right arm's reaching forward to add balance. Send your hips forward. And lift that left arm, sweep that left arm forward. Sit back onto your heels. Take a breath here. Moving into a tabletop shape. So your joints are stacked, your shoulders are directly above your wrists with your second finger pointing towards the front of the mat. Fingers are spread. You're pressing a little more into the first finger and the thumb. Your knees are beneath your hips. You draw your belly in. Your spine is nice and long. On your next inhale, take your left leg, straighten your left leg. You're tucking onto those left toes and press back into that left heel. Breathe. On your next inhale, pivot those right toes off to the right. Come onto the inside edge of your left foot. Left arm sweeps high, finding your modified side plank. Maybe you press into that left foot and lift the right knee. Adding a little bit of a challenge. Lower that right knee, come back down, find your tabletop. Take a cat-cow here. Come back to center. Take your right leg back, tuck onto the right toes, shifting forward and back. Warming up the wrists, warming up the ankles. Pivot the left, top of the left foot off to the left. Come down onto all four corners of the right foot. Right arm sweeps high, finding that side plank, that modified side plank. If you'd like, press into that right foot, lift the left knee. Feel that engagement in the left side body. And exhale, come down to your tabletop. Taking a cat-cow. Or any movements that might feel good to you. Some hip circles. Come back to center, hug that belly in, walk your hands forward and sink your forehead to the mat. Maybe your chin comes to the mat. Make sure your knees are directly beneath your hips, finding your puppy pose. Stay here, opening up your underarms, opening up your chest. Finding some softness in your face. If this feels intense, breathe into that space and then find some place in your body that you feel completely relaxed. And focus on that. Bring your own bliss. Staying here for about 20 more seconds. Lifting your chest, walk your hands back to tabletop, tuck on to your toes, lift your knees. Hugging that belly in, pressing the mat away from you. And breathe. Step back to plank. And breathe. Step forward into hovering table. Your knees are just a few inches off the mat. And breathe. Building strength, step back to plank. Maybe you take a little hop forward into hovering table, and then a hop back to plank. Moving between those two shapes. One more time in each direction. Maybe you step back. Step back into plank. Lower onto the knees and hug your elbows in, lower all the way to the mat. Tops of the feet are pressing down, big toes touch. Forehead finds the mat. Preparing for push-ups and Superman. So take your arms out into a cactus shape, and on your next inhale, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your head. And if this feels like enough, stay here. Or you can lift your legs as well, pressing your pelvis into the mat. Your hips are heavy, you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Exhale, come down, place your hands beneath your shoulders, tuck onto your toes, take a push-up. Maybe you take a knees down push-up. Lower back down. Cactus the arms. Take a Superman. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale to a push-up. Take an inhale in the push-up, in the plank, and exhale, come down, Superman. Take this a few more times. Building strength early. Warming up the body. Building heat. Last time. Find yourself in plank and walk your feet to the top of the mat, finding a forward fold. Knees can be generously bent. Chest is resting on your knees. On your next inhale, arms rise. Right hand finds the left wrist, side bend to the right. And breathe. Really send that left hip off to the left. If this is too much in your shoulders, right fingertips can be reaching toward the floor. Left arm reaching up and over. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, left hand finds the right wrist, side bend to the left. Maybe that left arm is released. Whatever feels best to you. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Shifting forward onto the balls of your feet. Just notice how that changes. Make sure that your back is flat. You're squeezing your shoulder blades kind of back and down. Your hands are to your shins. Maybe your fingertips to the floor. Maybe your hands are on your thighs. Whatever you need to do to make yourself look like an upside down L rather than a 7 sitting too far back into your heels. Neck is in line with the spine. Exhale, fold. Take your hands and interlace your hands and place them right at the base of your skull. So you really feel a little bit of a tug at your neck. The crown of the head is reaching for the floor. Maybe your knees are bent, but really focus on allowing that spine to elongate toward the floor. Pressing into all four corners of the feet, spread your toes. On your next inhale with elbows wide, come to a halfway lift. Hug the belly in. Lift your sit bones. Exhale, fold. We'll do this 10 times. Inhale as you lift halfway, elbows wide, crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back, press down into all four corners of the feet. Exhale, fold. That's 3. Hug that belly in. Use your core. This is 7. This is 10. Exhale, release the hands. Let your head hang. Just nod yes and no. Really focus on anywhere that feels relaxed in your body. And on your next inhale, arms rise, palms touch. Exhale, dive back down, moving through some sun salutation. Hands plant down, right leg steps all the way to the back of the mat. Lower that right knee, untuck the toes. Arms rise. Low crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come down to frame that left foot. Step back, to your plank. Shift forward, lower onto the knees or stay high onto the knees and find your chaturanga. Lower halfway down, elbows hug into the sides. Draw your heart forward, finding your cobra or up dog, and downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. On your next inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Really hug that knee towards your nose. You're pressing into the mat with your hands. Step your right foot through. Lower that left knee. Inhale, arms rise, low crescent. Exhale, hands come down to frame that right foot. Step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. 3 full sun salutations here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps all the way back, moving a little more quickly now. Lower that left knee. Arms rise. Exhale, come down. Step back to plank. Shift forward into plank. Move through your vinyasa. Or move straight to downward facing dog. Whatever feels best to you, yogi's choice. And breathe. Take a breath here. Gaze is between the ankles. Make sure you can't see your heels. You're pressing your chest toward your thighs. Your sit bones are lifted, but your ribs are knitted in. Lift up at your kneecaps. And just notice the difference, this active dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, draw your left knee towards your nose and really hug that left knee and cat the spine. Gaze is between the hands. Step it through. Lower that right knee. Arms rise. Exhale, come down. Step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, reach. And exhale, dive back down. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Low crescent lunge. Exhale, come down. Step back to plank. Maybe you add a push-up here. Maybe you don't. This is a moving meditation. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Remember, child's pose is always available to you. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. Low crescent. Hands come down, frame that right foot. Forward fold. One more. Side for sun salutation. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold, left foot steps all the way to the back of the mat. Lower the left knee. Low crescent. Exhale, come down. Step the right foot back. Push up or vinyasa or both. Downward facing dog. Take a few rounds of breath here. Maybe come up onto the toes and sink the heels. Maybe walk your dog. And breathe. On your next inhale, right leg rises. Bend that right knee. Hug the right heel towards the left glute and open up that right knee, that right hip, facing the right knee to the sky. Make sure you're pressing equally into both hands. Maybe take an ankle circle with your right foot. Square the hips, extend that right leg long to a three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it through. Finding yourself in a low lunge. Plant the left hand, right arm sweeps high. Breathe. Right hand comes down. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat, finding that low lunge on the left side. Right hand plants down, left arm sweeps high. And breathe, really press back into that right heel. Open up across the collarbones. Exhale, left hand comes down, step back. Add a push-up and move through your vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Breathe. On your next inhale, left leg rises, exhale, knee to nose, gaze between the hands, step it through, low lunge. Plant the right hand, left arm sweeps high, taking those arm circles forward. Inhaling as the arm reaches forward, exhaling as it comes back. And reverse, 3 arm circles in each direction. Left hand comes down. Step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come to palms together at the heart. Close down your eyes. And just notice, does this feel like heaven or bliss? Do you notice your energy shifting? How do you feel? Breathe. Soften your shoulders, soften your brow, maybe smile. On your next inhale, open your eyes. Put most of the weight into your left foot and step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat, preparing for elbow to knee. So a lunge strengthening exercise. So placing most of the weight in your left foot, lift your right knee, take your left elbow to kiss the right knee. Step back to a lunge, working your core, working your lower body, stepping back, and then twisting, lifting the right knee, twisting elbow to knee. Step back and contract. Extend the right leg, contract elbow to knee. Keep this up. Using your balance, maybe finding a drishti, something that isn't moving, that you can focus on. We'll take this 3 more times. Keep that right knee lifted. Palms together at your heart. Hug that lower belly in. Your tailbone is reaching for the floor. Use your strength. Hug that left hip underneath of you. Open that right knee and close. Open and close. 3 more times. 3, 2, and 1. Place that right foot back on the floor and just shake it out. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, don't let it go. Exhale, forward fold, step back to plank. Move through, add a push-up if you like. Move through your vinyasa. And breathe. On your next inhale, left leg rises. Hug that left heel towards your right glute. Open up that left hip. Pressing equally into both hands. Press your chest towards your right thigh. Maybe take a few ankle circles with that left foot. Extend that left leg, three-legged dog. Hips are square to the mat. Hug that left knee in. Step it through, low lunge. Plant the left hand. Oops. Switch. So sorry about that. Right foot steps forward. Plant the left hand. Right arm sweeps high. Take those arm circles forward. 3 times. And back. Right hand comes down. Step your left foot forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, this time lift the left knee. Open and close. Extend the left leg and back. Open and close. Stand tall. Crown of the head is reaching for the sky. One more time. Finding that drishti. Taking a breath here and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Sit down into that right hip. Hug that belly in. Tailbone lengthening toward the floor. Keep your chest lifted. Sit back. And breathe. Sit down a little lower. Maybe your forearms find the inside of your shin, your lower leg. Maybe they don't. Using that focal point. On your next inhale, lift that left knee and set it down. Shake it out. On your next inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Placing all the weight in your left foot, lift your right knee. Open your right knee to the right and back to center. Extend your right leg and bend, building strength in that standing leg as well as your right leg. One more time in each direction. Come back to stand. Right knee is lifted. Right foot is flexed. Right ankle sits on top of the left thigh. Sit down into the left hip. Chest is lifted. You're building strength. Wobbling is okay. That's a sign of building strength. Sit down. Lower, lower, lower into that left hip. And on your next inhale, come to stand, lift your right knee, and find your mountain pose. Your feet are hip distance apart, spread your toes. You are pressing into all 4 corners of your feet, and maybe even shift forward and back, finding that balance. Really ground down into your feet. Your knees are directly above your ankles. Your hips are directly above your knees. Your tailbone is lengthening toward the floor. You're pulling that lower belly in and up. You're lifting out of your hips. Your chest and crown of the head is reaching for the sky. Your shoulders are back and down. Your ribs are knitted in. Your palms are facing forward, and close your eyes. Does this feel like heaven on earth? How do you feel? Do you feel strong, protected, whole? Take a few more breath rounds, breathing in that love, compassion, and gratitude for what we share here today. This moving meditation. On your next inhale, open your eyes, arms rise, palms touch. Clasp your hands in a way that doesn't feel so comfortable and press your palms to the ceiling. Heel toe your feet as wide as the mat and side bend to the right and shift into a forward fold, taking a few circles where the palms of your hands graze the floor and come up onto the left side. Inhale here, exhale, side bend to the left. Take that circle in the opposite direction. Release your hands. Find your cactus shape. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your elbows behind you. Lift your heart, finding just a little back bend here. Inhale, reach. Heel toe your feet shoulder distance apart. And exhale, forward fold. Moving into another sequence. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Either step or hop back to a high plank. Adding your push-up if you like, or moving through your vinyasa. Find a back bend and downward facing dog. Breathe. On your next inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it through, find your low lunge. Heel toe that right foot back just a little bit more. Left hand plants down, right hand plants down, left arm sweeps high. Finding an arm circle once in each direction. Plant the left hand down, right arm sweeps forward. Heel toe that left foot just a little wider. Left hand finds the left hip. Inhale, right arm sweeps up and back. Much like in the warm-up, we were doing that half camel, feeling all that length in the front right side of the body. Bend into that left knee just a little bit more. Try to straighten that right leg. Gaze is to where the wall meets the ceiling. Exhale, forward, hover over that left knee. Inhale, lift. Really reach those right fingertips back. Exhale, forward to hover. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right hand comes down. Plant the right hand. Left arm sweeps high. Left hand comes down. Step back to your plank pose. Vinyasa. And downward facing dog. Breathe here. Maybe you'd like to find a little movement coming up onto your toes and sinking your heels. Maybe you like to do a little lymphatic bounce during your 3 rounds of breath. Right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Gaze is between the hands. Step it through. Find that low lunge. Walk those left toes back just a little more. Right hand plants down. Left arm sweeps high, finding your gentle twist. Taking one arm circle forward and then back. Right hand finds the right hip. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and back. You're bending generously into the right knee. You're trying to straighten that left knee as much as possible. Opening up all of this left side body. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Maybe you have a little bit wider stance for a more stable foundation. You're up on the balls of the left toes. Take another inhale here and exhale to hover over that right knee. Left arm reaches for the front of the room. Fingertips really, really reach forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward one more time. Left hand plants down, right hand plants down. Step your left foot forward. Forward fold. Heel toe your feet just a little wider and grab opposite elbows. Just sway back and forth. On your next inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Place your feet hip distance apart. Put all your weight into your left foot. Lift your right knee. Open your right knee off to the right. Grow nice and tall. You're really rooted down in that left foot. Place the inside of the right foot, maybe kickstand that at your ankle, maybe to your shin, maybe you place the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Really hug that left hip underneath of you. Crown of the head grows tall, finding your tree. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you grow branches. You're opening up that right knee nice and wide. Maybe your right hand finds your left wrist and you send that left hip off to the left. Straighten your arms. Arms frame ears. Wherever you are, find your breath, find your bliss somewhere in your body. On your next inhale, hands come to heart center. Release that right knee. Lift the right knee in front of you and step it all the way back, finding a warrior 3. Reach your right arm forward, left arm back in your warrior 3. Your hips are square to the mat. Your spine is nice and long. You feel energy coming from the right tips of the right fingers all the way to the right heel. Your toes can be pointed or your foot can be flexed. The hips are square to the mat. Place your hands down. Find a standing split. And breathe. Lift that right leg. Flex the foot. Pulse and point. Pulse, working the glutes and point. Flex and point as you pulse. And place your
foot down on the mat, finding a forward fold. And breathe. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, taking that tree to the opposite side. Placing all the weight in your right foot. Lift your left knee. Open your left knee wide. Find your drishti and find your tree. Right hip is tucking up underneath of you. Maybe you stay here. Maybe one side feels different than the other. Keep that left knee open wide. Find your balance. It's okay to wobble. It's okay to be taken off your game. Come back to that center. Come back to that love, compassion, and gratitude for self. And maybe you grow branches. Maybe you take that side bend. And when you are ready, release that left foot, lift that left knee in front of you, and exhale that left leg all the way back, finding your warrior three. Right fingertips reaching back, left fingertips reaching forward. Really find all that length away from your center. Hips are square to the mat. Take one more round of breath here. Use your strength. And exhale, hands come to the mat, finding that standing split. Point the toes and flex as you pulse, working the glutes of the left leg as well as the standing leg, the right leg. Keep this up. And one more in each direction. Place the left foot down, forward fold. And go ahead and step your forward fold out into a wide leg forward fold. Whether you heel toe your feet wide, however you get there. Inhale to a halfway lift. Right hand comes beneath the face. Left arm sweeps high, finding a twist. Exhale, left hand comes down beneath the face. Right arm sweeps high. Exhale, come down, walk your hands back beneath your shoulders as the crown of the head draws toward the floor. Maybe you stay here and use your hands to encourage that length in the spine. Your tailbone is reaching for the sky. Your tailbone is, reaching for the sky, and you're pulling up on your kneecaps as your hands, using the drag in your hands to encourage the crown of the head closer to the floor. Maybe your first two fingers grab your big toes and you bend into your elbows to encourage that stretch. Whatever you need to do, we'll be here for a minute or so. Breathe. Let your brain fall to the top of your head. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders. On your next inhale, hands find your hips, hug your belly in, and come to stand. Heel toe your feet back to hip distance apart. Come to the top of your mat. Place your feet on the outside edges of your mat, your toes out just a little bit at about a 45-degree angle. Sit down into your malasana squat. Your elbows are inside of your thighs. You're pressing your elbows into your thighs and your thighs into your elbows, and just sway side to side. Place your hands on the mat. Come up onto your toes and either step or hop back to a plank. And then hop back to your malasana. Sit tall. Plank. Malasana. 3 more times. Make your plank strong. This is 2. This is 1. And sway. Maybe close your eyes. And with control, sit. Your sit bones find the mat. That was very graceful. Knees are bent. Feet are flat on the floor. Imagine that string lifting your chest. You're sitting back just a bit. Arms reaching forward, palms in. Lift your left shin to parallel the mat. Your right shin, find your boat. Hug that belly in and up. Chest is lifted. Take an inhale here. As you straighten the legs, sit back to your hovering boat. And exhale, pull your knees into boat. Moving to that, from that hover. Extending, contracting. Inhale on the extension. Exhale on the contraction. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hug your knees tight. Balance on your sit bones. Hug your belly in. Use your control. And breathe. Place your feet down on the mat. Arms reaching forward and slowly lower all the way down. Place your hands down by your side. Actually, backs of the hands are facing down. Bring your heels nice and close to your sit bones. Take one, bring your right leg straight towards the ceiling, your toes facing the ceiling. Take an inhale here, press your lower back into the mat and lift your hips and down. And lift and down. 3 more times. 3, 2, and 1. Keep that lift. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and pulse and squeeze. Lift your hips just that little bit. Keep that right knee open wide. Squeeze. Press into the left heel. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Place your feet back on the floor. Backs of the hands find the mat. Make sure your heels are nice and close. Inhale. Left leg reaches for the sky. Left toes reaching for the sky. Press your lower back into the mat. On your next inhale, lift your hips and pulse. us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross that left ankle over your right thigh and lower and lift and lower and lift. 3 more times. Keep that left knee open wide. That left foot is flexed. 2 and 1. Hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side. 1 more bridge variation before we prepare for our final resting pose, Shavasana. So place your feet on the floor, palms facing down by your sides, gently pressing the back of your head into the mat. Inhale, press your lower back into the mat. Lift your hips. Extend your knees. Don't allow your knees to splay out. Your knees are facing forward. You're lifting your hips. You're lifting your chest. Your chin is facing the sky. Maybe you shimmy your left shoulder blade underneath of you, your right shoulder blade underneath of you. Clasp your hands. Press that clasp and your shoulders into the mat. As you lift your hips, lift your chest even higher. And breathe. If wheel is in your practice, feel free to lower down and take a wheel. Feeling all that length in your front body. Squeeze your hips, squeeze, lift them a little higher, and release your hands, release each shoulder. Bring your hips back down onto the mat. Heel toe your feet as wide as the mat. Goalpost your arms, find that cactus shape, and allow your knees to fall over to the right. Your gaze can be to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees fall over to the left, gaze is to the right. Knees come back to center, and just moving from side to side. Allowing all that work to settle. Heel toe your feet back to center. Hug your right knee into your chest. Extend that left leg long. And just move your right knee. Open that right knee nice and wide. And then crossing it over the body, finding a supine twist. So right arm reaches off to the right. Right shoulder is nice and heavy to the mat. Breathing into any areas that might feel sensitive. And as you exhale, allowing yourself to find that bliss, that heaven, that whatever it is that makes you feel good. And breathe, giving yourself a moment. Inhale, back to center. Allow that right knee to open wide. Hug that right knee nice and tight. Nose comes to the knee. And then switch. Extend your right leg long. Your left knee comes in to your nose. Lower the back of the head to the mat. Open up that left knee wide. Right arm comes into a cactus shape. Inhale here. Exhale. Draw that left knee across your body to the right. Left arm is in a cactus shape. Find that supine twist. Breathe into any tension. And relax and make yourself as comfortable as possible. Allow gravity to work here. Allow gravity to draw your left shoulder towards the mat, your left knee towards the mat. Inhale back to center. Hug both knees wide of your chest. Reaching between your knees, grab the outside edges of your feet and allow the soles of the feet to reach up towards the sky. Your knees are bent, your tailbone, your entire spine is as flat to the mat as possible. And maybe if you're kind of rounded in your lower spine like this, allow yourself to grab both knees and let that tailbone kind of unfold onto the mat and just rock side to side for your happy baby. This is our final posture before Shavasana. And go ahead and extend your left leg almost to the outside of your mat, just a bit wider than your hips. Your right foot, your right heel extends almost to the outside of your mat. Shimmying your shoulder blades nice and flat to the mat. Your arms are down by your sides, palms facing up. Go ahead and close your eyes. And feeling the warm, comfortable support of your mat, almost coming up beneath you to meet you exactly where you are. Unfurrow your brow. Allow your eyes to sink more deeply into their sockets. Releasing your jaw, allow your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth, maybe even your lips to part slightly. You're feeling your arms and legs getting nice and heavy. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do. Just breathe. To bring some movements back to your fingers and your toes. And rolling over onto your right side, using your right arm as a pillow. Thinking about what your bliss is, what your heaven is, how you can bring love, compassion, and gratitude into
your day just like you brought it into your practice today. Keep your eyes closed. Press yourself up into a comfortable cross-legged seat, palms together, thumbs at your heart, and chins bowed. Thank you so much for sharing in this practice with me. It's an honor to be your teacher. Open up, let go, and shine bright. Namaste.